Hey guys, it's me again, and today I'm going to be answering a question that I hear a lot online, and that is, what's better, anime or manga? Now, obviously in the end it all boils down to your opinion, but in this video I'm going to give my thoughts on the argument. I'll cover things such as time requirement, entertainment, plot, costs, storage, and I'll finish with my opinion. Now, before we get started though, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and check out some of my other manga videos that I post pretty regularly. I don't have a 100% set in stone schedule, but I upload whenever I can and whenever I have something that I feel I can upload. So, yeah. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So, the first thing I'm going to be talking about is time. So, for the sake of simplicity, we'll compare the length of a typical anime season to the typical length of a manga up until that same point. So, like, the anime and the manga end at the same point. That's what we'll be talking about. So, a typical anime season is about 12 or so episodes, and with about 25 minutes per episode, if you're not having commercials, then that's close to about 5 hours to watch a season of an anime. Now, a manga can take anywhere from around 3 to 10 volumes to reach the same point in the series, in the story. And that all depends on whether or not it has fillers, how much the manga differs from the anime. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, but we'll talk about fillers and things like that later. So, I've done some research, and by research I mean I've asked some of my friends to gather enough information to get a solid amount of time that I think sounds right. And I've decided that a typical manga takes about 45 minutes to an hour to read. So, that's about 3 to 10 hours to finish the series versus the 5 that an anime takes. So, depending on the series, the anime might be quicker, or also depending on the series, the manga might be quicker. It all depends on what the series is. So, that's not too big of a deciding factor, I feel like, for a lot of people, because I feel like if you like a series enough, you'll be willing to devote enough time to finish it, as regardless of how much time it takes. So, next, I'm going to talk about entertainment. And while both anime and manga may be entertaining, they're entertaining in their own ways. Anime offers more fast-paced action due to being animated, as well as iconic songs, voices, and things of the such that we grow to know and love. Because I know a lot of people talk about how much they love certain theme songs from animes, or voice actors that they really like, and things such as that. And again, with it being animated, it's easier to follow the action because everything's moving instead of just still pictures. So you can actually see everything moving from one part to another, and it makes the action sequences a lot more intense, in my opinion at least. So there's that. But then, it's also really easy to just sit back and binge watch an anime. And for many, this is pretty ideal, I think, because you can just sit back on your couch, your bed, or whatever, and watch an anime without having to worry about anything else. Now, manga, on the other hand, allows readers to progress through the story at their own pace, which allows people to continue at a speed that suits what they want. So, you don't feel like, if you feel like the story's moving too quickly, you can slow down your reading. Also, if there's a part you really like, you can go back and enjoy that as many times as you want, or you can just sit there and look at it, and you don't have to worry about it continuing going on. It also offers the charm of simply relaxing and reading a book, which I know many people like. Now on to plot. Despite the fact that an anime and manga may be part of the same series, the story can alter greatly from one to the other, as I mentioned earlier. Anime will almost always focus primarily on developing the overall story as much as possible, while manga is often full of filler chapters added just to make the series more detailed and interesting. Now, what I mean by that is, with anime, they know you're sitting there watching this, so aside from that, you're probably doing nothing, so if the story isn't moving along at a good pace, you're probably going to lose interest and you're probably going to stop watching and do something else. And they know that. So they try to keep it as action-packed as possible. They try to keep the plot as progressive as possible. And I tend to really like this, but then with manga, you have pretty much the same plot, but sometimes they add in stuff just because it's a book, they can add a lot more into it. And they have the filler chapters that I've mentioned a couple of times. And what those are just chapters that help with things like character development and world development and things like that that don't really affect the plot too much, but are just there to take up some space and give you some more stuff to read that doesn't have to do with the overall plot. It's just something there for fun. Now, for one of the biggest factors for, I think, most people, and that's price. So, obviously, with the internet, you can get both anime and manga for free because there's anime streaming sites that you don't need to pay for, and you can also read manga online on free websites. So, yes, you can get them for free, but for people who want to physically have the anime or manga in their collection, like I do here, I have some DVDs. These are all my DVDs, actually. And then I have a couple of manga. You're gonna have to pay, most likely. So, an anime can range from around $20 all the way up to $60 or higher, depending on the series. Just because some series, such as these here, only have one season, and they were each like $20 or $30 each, because they only have like one season, and the seasons aren't too long. Whereas you have anime that might have like somewhere anywhere between 2 to like 5 or 6 seasons, and obviously you're getting a lot more, so they're going to cost a lot more. So yeah, that's a big factor because anime lengths can range a lot and vary a lot, so that the price follows that. And with manga, I found they're usually about $10 to $12 per volume, but with the total price of all the volumes, the anime may actually be the cheaper option. Because, for example, My Hero Academia here, this is just volume 1. There's like 18, I think, that are out right now. So for $10 per volume, that's $180 that you're spending there, and I'm sure you can get the anime for way cheaper than $180. So in the case of that, the anime is probably the cheaper option, and if cost is the only thing you're worried about, that might be what you want to go for. Now, another big factor, especially for people like me who don't have a whole lot of space, is storage. Now, anime are usually in DVD cases like this, and they don't take up a whole lot of space, you know? This is 2, I can put them here, and they're about the size. Here, I'll show you, I can put them here. These 2 series together are about the size of 1 manga volume. That's 2 entire series. They take up the space of 1 volume. And then you have something like My Hero Academia. Right here I have volume 1. I'll put this up with the rest of my series. And mind you, I don't even have My Hero Academia completed, and yet it's taking up that much space. That's not even an entire series. 1 series right here, well, 2 series right here, a little over half of 1 series. Yeah, so space is a big thing. And, you know, anime, while it may take up way less space, there's some cool things that manga do that they know they're going to take up a lot of space, so they'll do things such as, one thing I really like is with 7 Deadly Sins. They have these pictures on the side, and when you put them all together, they all come together and make this big picture, and that's really cool, or they might just have pictures of characters here, like a lot of my series do, like My Hero Academia does that, Tokyo Ghoul does that, One Punch Man does that, a lot of series do. So, when they're all together, they do look really cool. And even having several series together, even if they're not the same genre whatsoever, like I have these, and that's action, slice of life, I don't know what you want to consider your name, and then just healing. So, you know, just tons of different genres. They don't have to have anything to do with each other whatsoever, but on a shelf, they look pretty nice, and I know most people will agree with that. So yeah, storage is another big one, but with all these in mind, I'm gonna give you guys my opinion on what's better and why. So actually, that kind of got your hopes up, I'm sure. They're both great, if you ask me. And if I were to decide on which one I thought was better, I'd probably change my mind 5 minutes later. So if you're trying to decide on one or the other, just consider what I've said up until now and go off of that, because again, it depends more so on what the series is. Because there's things like these, like I said, these are only 1 season long, things like that, I'd probably go for the anime, just because that's probably cheaper, that's going to take up way less space, and I don't know, it's, like I said, it's cheaper, it takes up less space, and, I don't know, I think I was going to say I like watching anime more than reading manga. That's not true, see? I'm not good at doing my opinion on this, because my opinion's pretty neutral, it's somewhere in the middle, so, yeah, just go with whatever you think fits your needs the best with what I've said in this video, and make your decision off that. So, I really hope you guys liked this comparison video. I've never done anything like this before, and it was really fun. I've actually been working on this for a while now. I have been working on this for about 2 weeks, and I think it came together really well. I'm glad to finally get this done, and I had a lot of fun. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, I'll see you guys next time. Anytime now because my battery's dead.